Well, in here we have a little short dynamic. Okay, so pay attention to this. You can appreciate different activities at the bottom part on the left, okay, about play computer, games, do exercise, go out with friends, and read a book. And then you see at the bottom part on the right, always, usually, often, sometimes, hardly ever, and never. They are all adverbs of frequency, okay? So now in a short dialogue, let's see this question. Do you eat ceviche? You know ceviche, the main food in Peru, in Lima? And then you can reply like this. Yes, yes I do, okay? And teacher, what about if we say no? In that situation, you will reply, do you eat ceviche? No, I don't. As a contraction. Thank you. But now, if the question is a little bit different, how often do you eat ceviche? Okay, how often? This is not do you eat ceviche anymore. Now we are adding this part, how often. And that means, guys, the frequency. So how many times do you eat ceviche per week or per month? So we don't know, it's about you. How often into Spanish, that means cuán a menudo. Ok, podemos traducirlo de esta manera. Cuán a menudo come ceviche or different activities. And what is the answer? I always eat ceviche on Sundays. So notice, we can use different adverbs of frequency, like always. So you can choose, let me help you. It could be usually, not only always, often, then we have sometimes, hardly ever, and then never, okay? So what is the translation of each one? Always, it represents 100%, okay, siempre, 100%. Usually, that would be 90%, puede ser el 90%, 90% usually, usualmente. Often, you know, this is a menudo, often. Then we have sometimes, 50%, el 50%, sometimes, algunas veces, hardly ever, guys, casi nunca, hardly ever. And then we have never. And this is about 0%, el 0%, nunca. Okay, I never speak in French. I never, study at night or something like that. Well, let's continue. What is the next question? So now we have to pick do or play computer games. Let me show you. Do you play computer games? And then we ask this question. How often do you play computer games? ¿Cuán a menudo juegas videojuegos? Okay, and then you would choose. Teacher, I sometimes. Okay, Eli, Rico, what is here? Choose one of them, please.
I always play computer game Fortnite.
Yes, excellent. You know, I always play Fortnite in that situation. Awesome. Now, what is the next activity? Do you exercise or do you do exercise? And then you would say, yes, I do. And now we add, how often, cuán a menudo, how often do you do exercise? And now let's try with, good evening, Ada.
Good evening, teacher.
Okay, so let me know, what is your choice? I what?
I never do
never. Yeah, I never do exercise, teacher. I'm a lazy person. I don't like to do this kind of stuff. Thank you. Then we have go out with friends. Look at this. Do you go out with friends? ¿Te gusta salir con los amigos? Do you go out with friends? And then you would say, yes, I do. Or yes, or it could be negative, no, I don't, right? How often do you go out with friends? ¿Cuán a menudo sales con los amigos? How often do you go out with friends? And then that is for, let's see, Guadalupe del Rosario. ¿Cómo Guadalupe? I choose any of them.
Teacher, ¿volver a repetir?
Yes, of course. And then you have to pick, you need to select any of these adverb frequencies. Always, usually, often, sometimes.
Often. I often go out with friends.
With friends. Yes, that's a word. Perfect. Now, students, next and final activity. Do you read a book or do you read books? You know, if we're talking about in general, si hablamos de manera general, lees libros. Do you read books? And then you will say, yes, I do. I like that. How often do you read a book? A particular book. If we're talking about Harry Potter books, you know, it's a novel about Harry Potter. And then you would say, teacher, I always. Okay? If reading is your thing, you have to say, I always read books or a specific book. Okay? Thank you. Well, student, that's all for this activity. I hope you like this so much. And now let's move to the next part. It's highly time to practice together. Number 2 was given as an example. Let's see. I seldom eat meat for breakfast. You know, the only thing you need to add is the subject plus the adverb frequency. Number 3, drink coffee in the evening. I never, teacher. I never drink coffee in the evening because I want to sleep later. Next guy, Guadalupe Serrano. Tell me, number 4, how often do you go to bed at 1 a.m.? What is your answer, Miss?
I never go to bed at 1 a.m.
a.m. Yes, that sounds interesting and wisely. Let me say, thank you. I never go to bed at 1 a.m. Okay, good. Number 5, and that is for, let's see, Diana Galarza. Come on, Diana. Get up early on Sundays. How often do you get up early on Sundays?
I sometimes get up early on Sundays.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. I sometimes get up early on Sunday because this is the weekend. Teacher, I always get up late. Okay, thank you. Number 6, and that is for, let's see, Villanueva. Okay, good evening, Villanueva. Be late for work. How often are you late for work or school, if that is your case? Let's see. I'm just waiting for Villanueva. Can you hear me?
I usually work.
Yeah, but in this case particularly, be careful about the verb to be, okay? We need to conjugate a verb to be. It could be am, is, or are, but the subject is I, okay? We're talking about by using the first person, singular person. I, what is next? Am, is, or are? I are? No. I am. Hardly ever, usually, yes, never, or different adverbs of frequency, late for work. This is the right position. I am hardly ever. Okay, remember in this case, as an exception, we have to place the verb to be before the adverb of frequency. Good job, Miss. Number 7, Wagner Cervantes. Come on, Wagner. How often do you walk to work or school?
I usually walk to work.
Yeah, fantastic. Teacher, I never walk to work, to school, or different places. Thank you. In this case, let me help you when it comes to this word. I mean, the way we have to pronounce it is like this. Walk. You know, the letter L is silent. Okay, you have to say this way. Walk. Walk. Thank you. Next one. Number 8. Watch sport on TV. And that is for Ada Maria Ruiz. Good evening. How often do you watch sport on TV?
I seldom watch sport on TV.
Yes, teacher. I don't like watching sports on TV. So that's why I never watch sports on TV. Thank you. I sometimes. This is my example. Number 9, and that is for Ariana Garcia. How often, Ariana, do you have pizza for lunch?
I hardly ever have pizza for lunch.
Yes, I mean that is some kind of awkward, strange to have pizza for lunch. I mean this is not so good. Thank you. And number 10, do homework after lunch. And let's see who is missing. Eli, Mr. Eli Rico. How often do you do homework after lunch? What is here?
I
I
don't
usually, I never, I sometimes.
and sometimes don't however as lunch.
After lunch. Yes, that's good. Well, student, thank you so much. I mean, we concluded successfully this activity. So now you know how to use adverbs of frequency really well.